Hi everyone, it's Nicole and I'm here with the 8th layout using those page kits that we put together. So we're almost done, and once this series is done, then I'm going to go through the scraps and I'm going to try and make a couple layouts using the scraps. So this is the one where there was a lot of Amy Tangerine embellishments, and they're kind of that foil dark pink. So I went into my stash and I found some raspberry looking color cardstock, and I'm going to mount the whole back of the layout with that and also the photo. But first I'm going to put some clear gesso on the background, and this is an American Craft white cardstock, and I have to say I don't like it when you do any kind of wet mixed media usage with that cardstock. I usually use the Stampin' Up! Whisper White cardstock for that kind of stuff, and I have to say that I really like it a whole lot more. I don't like I'm going to do the packaging technique with the Distress Ink Spun Sugar, and I don't like that I can't really move the ink around even though I have some clear gesso on that. It's just really textured, so it really stays into the groove. So I really like the Whisper White cardstock from Stampin' Up! For that kind of stuff. I am trying to use, my stash a whole lot more, and I have a ton of that American Craft cardstock, and I thought, well, I'm going to try and use it, not thinking that I was going to do any kind of wet media with this layout. But then when I started, I decided to go ahead and use some distress inks, and I thought, what, I'll try it again, see if it's just something that I can sort of live with. And I'm really not liking how it turns, how it does. So from now on, whenever I want to do any kind of splattering or using the packaging technique, I'm going to make sure to use the Whisper White cardstock from Stampin' Up! Now, it wasn't enough for me to kind of scrap this and redo it. I kept going, and by the time I'm done, putting the layers of papers and all that, I kind of cover up those splatters that I didn't like anyway. So it turns out to be okay. Now I'm going to bring in the photo that I'm going to use for this layout. It's a photo of Vegas, and I printed it with my Canon Pro 100, and I used the platinum paper, and so it's kind of glossy, and I printed it at 5x7 if I remember correctly. Yes, I think that's what I printed it at. And I'm going to use, like I said, the embellishments that were from the Amy Tangerine, one of the latest collections that I bought. And the chipboard word is also from Amy Tangerine, but from the chipboard stickers. And so basically that's just going to be, my title is just going to be awesome. And then another little piece of embellishment, I'm going to put 24 hours Vegas. And the reason for that is because when my friend and I went to Palm Springs, we drove to Vegas and stayed there for literally 24 hours. And that was it. We just, took a hotel for one night and then checked out the next morning, and then just walked around Vegas all day, and then went to see a show that night, a dinner theater. And then when that was done, which was about 11:30, 12 o'clock, we got in the vehicle and drove back to Palm Springs to make it there so that we could take our flight the next morning to come home. So when I cut down the photo, I just made sure to leave a little white border all the way around, and then in the center of my raspberry looking cardstock or colored cardstock, I just remounted the photo, and it just reminded me of those embellishments. And so that's why I want to have that cardstock. I'm going to cut down some of the pattern papers that I had put with this kit, and then I'm just going to end up, I'm not really sure what I want to do. At first, actually, when I finished this layout, I was like, I I don't know if I like it. But the more I look at it now, it kind of grew on me. I just didn't have any mojo that day. I didn't know what exactly I wanted to, where I want to start with this layout. And then the whole thing with the splatters kind of put me off, and I wanted to, kind of trash the background and just start over again. But once I thought about it a little bit more, I knew that, I was going to have pattern paper on the background, so might as well just go with it and keep finishing it. So where these pattern papers were 6x6, they weren't long enough to, go above the photo and below, because this is a 5x7 photo. So I'm just going to cut little pieces off, and then I'm going to, put it at the top and the bottom of the photo. And then that way it's a great way to use, 6x6 pattern papers and not always have to cut into 12x12s for your layers. So I'm going to ink the edges with the Hero Arts ink. And while I do that, I was thinking, because I'm filming my scrap room tour video, and it made me think about organizing and how much time I spent organizing that room. And even as I'm going through the room, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to want to change this up, and I'm going to want to change that up. So it made me think, how much time do you spend compared to scrapbooking in organizing your stuff? Because it is fun to do, right? Like, it's fun to go through your stuff and, get excited about stuff that maybe you haven't seen in a while. And I have to say, with, unpacking, and because I had to unpack, that's why I had to reorganize everything. But it made me look at stuff a whole lot more and want to scrap with my older supplies a whole lot more. It got me excited about my older supplies again, which I'm really liking. But that reorganizing can totally be a time sucker, right? So how much time do you spend organizing all your supplies and going through all your stuff? Right about now, I have about half the scrapbook room tour done. And I have to say, my hat off to everybody that does scrap room tours all the time, because those take a long time to do. I've spent a few hours already on it, and there's still quite a bit to do. So I'm about halfway done, I would say. So probably in the next couple of days, I'll start uploading some of the videos. Now, I'm not going to upload all of them all at once because it's real time. So, I'm not going to speed them up. I'm going to probably upload them in 30 minutes to 45 minutes increments, I would say. So there's probably going to be 3 or 4 of them, because I figured if I'm going to do the tour, I'm going to do it like you're going to see not just the room, but I'm actually going through every single drawer, because I have to be honest, it's not something that I will be doing every 6 months. It's a scrap room tour. From now on, I think if I do any major reorganizing, since we're talking about reorganizing today, I'll film that. But I shouldn't be doing too much reorganizing. So the way my scrapbook room is now is probably how it's going to remain. The only thing that I'm going to probably change up is that there's no decorating in my scrap room right now. It's like just basics. It's just, my room is really functional, as an office and to work. I don't have too many decoration stuff. I haven't gotten to that. I was really working on, making it so that it was a place that I could get stuff done. But anyway, those should be starting to go up within the next couple of days. So back to this layout, I took some of the embellishments that were that foily looking, and one of them was a flower, so I cut it in 2. I used one of it looks like a journaling block, and one says LOL, and the other side I'm going to use, and that's where I'm going to put sort of my subtitle to the top right of the layout with the other flower. Then I took that heart that said sweet things, and I just made it so it ran off the bottom of the page, and I just kept the word sweet because I wanted it for this, for this layout. And then these two little chipboard pieces, it just says all the, so I really liked it as part of my title because it says all the awesome. And another piece of embellishment says super, so I'm going to put that at the top. I'm going to use a banner. Okay, so I had to stop the recording because there was this big thunder boom outside, and it just made me jump. And now it is pouring like nobody's business. I don't know if you can hear it on the recording, but oh man, it is coming down. It was a hot, humid day today, so now the rain is coming down. But anyway, back to this layout. So I put my title on the side. I love doing that, putting big titles on the side of my layouts. And I'm going to cut down that white cardstock, and like I said, I'm going to mount it on that raspberry looking cardstock. And I said that a few times in my last videos, but I like my layouts to be kind of on the thicker side, so I don't mind putting, a couple of cardstock together, or 2-3 pattern papers and also a cardstock. So I went into my stash and got the Kelly Perky white alphabet, and I got a whole bunch of those. It was at Simon Says Stamp. I don't think they're available anymore, but I got the white ones so that I could color them in whatever color I needed. So I used the same ink that I used for inking all the pattern papers, and I colored the alphas in that color, and I'm going to put that on the banner to the right side of the layout, and that's going to be my subtitle, which is going to be 24-hour Vegas. Okay, so now I got the subtitle down, 24-hour Vegas. I'm going to go through my stash and find some enamel dots, and I find some in like that color, that raspberry looking color, so I'm going to use some at every embellishment cluster. And then with that little journaling block where it says LOL, I'm going to put the year on that using the same alphas, I believe, or maybe I'm using different ones. I can't remember. I actually did this layout about a week and a half ago. So it's funny how fast we forget things. Because of my layers, I had covered up a lot of those splatters, so I went and got my box and added some more splatters, and then I'm going to add the year. And just as a reminder, if you're new to my channel, don't forget to hit subscribe, and if you're enjoying these videos, if you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up. And don't forget, in July I'm uploading a video a day for the entire month of July. And I want to thank you so much for watching, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.